Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I was asked about what I thought would be the best thing if you was in the city, if crap hits the fan. I done a lot of thinking on this. And, you know, I've been to New York, I've been to Chicago, I've been to Washington DC and stuff like that, but I've never lived there. So, you know, I'm just giving you my thoughts into it. Okay, this all depends on what kind of crap hits the fan. If it's nuclear, and I hate to say this, I don't hold a lot of hope for people in New York, Chicago, and places like that. Because if we're ever attacked, that'll be the first places hit. They'll hit major cities and nuclear facilities. Okay, and if you look, I actually got to looking into it. Uh, Russia has a actual missile that carries several warheads. And what it does is when it gets over a city, it disperses the warheads and they go off. So it would be multiple warheads. It won't be just one hit, one place, and everybody runs from it. They'll be everywhere. And that's just the honest fact. You look it up for yourself. Uh, in that scenario, I would definitely load up on those uh, potassium chloride pills, but I'm going to say the fallout and all, there wouldn't be a lot of hope. Uh, Now another thing is you know, is there going to be a warning? What kind of? I would look it up and see what kind of warning your city has. Is there going to be a all points bulletin? In 20 minutes, Russia shot bombs off, whatever. In this amount of time, the city's going to be hit. Do whatever you can do. Okay, if you can have, I mean, if you're in the middle of New York or something, it's going to be awful hard because everybody's going to jump in their cars and stuff. They're going to block the interstates, expressways, everything in a panic to get out. Okay, they'll be running down the street and leave their cars. So it blocks everything up. In that kind of a situation, my thought is, if you had, let's say you have 30 minutes or 45 minutes, an hour, whatever the system allows, I would look into a motorcycle, maybe a four-wheeler, something that you can maneuver. And I would also I'd go to Google Earth, something, find a map of my city, and I would look for train tracks. Those ditches that's where the water runs out of the city to get it out of the city so it don't flood and stuff like that. I would look there. I don't think I would hit subways because there'll be crowded people trying to get on buses or getting down underground in subways and stuff. And it might help to be underground, but if that's what you think be best, I would hunt the subway system and find where the most distance is between me being here and if anything happens on either side of the tunnel. Uh, as far as if you had a motorcycle or something like that, it depends on how big your family is. If you got a couple kids, you might want to get a two-seater side by side and have it to where if you have to jump in it and go, you can. But now I would have my wife or her, if you're single, just get you a. I like the it's a Smith and Wesson 9mm carbine that folds in half. They're small, they're compact, they don't take a lot of room, and they've got, I think it's a 30-round clip, and it comes with 4 or 5 clips, or at least I would have 4 or 5 clips for it. I'd have me a thing where I could put some here, and then that stock holds so many. Then I'd have one in the gun. Okay, you're not going to be shooting a mile. You're going to be very close range. Okay, to protect your family, and you want something that holds a lot. Now, another gun I was looking at is the Springfield Arms XP9 or something. It's got like 20-round clips, and it comes with one for your gun, and it comes with 2 extra. I would have a holster on my side that held the gun, and then I would have the 2 extra clips over here, and I'd probably have a few more in my thing, and I would stay with 9mm. And that way you only have to worry about getting one type of shell. And like I said again, you're not going to be out long ranging it. Right now, we're just getting out of the city. We'll discuss here in a second the rest. Okay, if it's something like that, do what you got to do. I'd have a 4-wheeler or something where I could put some gear in it. Let it help carry my gear out. And if it was just single person, I'd have me what is it? Dirt and trail bike. Where it's got the trail and the street bike put together. I'd have me some saddlebags put on it where I could cram stuff down in it real quick. I'd have me a go bag, and we'll discuss a to-go bag for that scenario too. But I would definitely hunt me a chest. It's a thing goes around. You put it on and it brings the bullets up here around your chest, or you can even do it around your stomach, where you got easy access to them. I would not hesitate. Remember, hesitation will get you killed quicker than anything. And if somebody's trying to rip you off a motorcycle or something like that where you're trying to get out, they're going to leave you stranded right there, and you're going to lose all your equipment. So, I'm saying do what you got to do. Also, hunt that way out that's not going to be jammed. If you don't go try to go down through the city, I'll swerve through all them cars. No, somebody will grab you off that bike. I would hit, if there's a subway, railroad, or something where there's nobody, I'd hit that and gone. If a subway car comes, I'd make sure I know how to get off the tracks. But I'm pretty sure if there's something like that happening, they'll shut the subways down. But I'd find the quickest route from me to way out of the city. And, I'd make sure that bike was full of gas. And then I would make a friend, summers on the outskirts of the city. I'd find somebody out there that I could trust, or, find a place where nobody lives, if it's just out in the woods or something where you can stash some supplies at this point. Okay, once you make that map of this is how I got to get out of the city, this is the vehicle. If you're walking, I'm sorry, I just don't think you'll make it. I mean, that's just honest truth. I see videos where people's riding them 4-wheelers and stuff like that in the city. So, if you can have something like that and you got a place to put it, I would definitely have it, and I'd make sure at all times it was in good running condition in case. If you get a 4-wheeler, they make one that has a thing that comes around you here. It's like bags, or it's a plastic case, but it's for storage. And I'd even put a tote on the front rack. Okay. If it's just like you and your girlfriend or you and your wife, put her on the back of it with you and head out. And, that way you'd have enough room that if you had, let's say you won't have your backpack on because it'd be crowding her. You could throw it in the front tote, strap it. And, if you had anything else with you, you could throw it in these side things, and I just cram them full as I cram them. Now, if it's a side-by-side, they've got a little bed on the back of them, Some of them's bigger, some of them's littler, but, get something that's fast. Now, I'm going to say that, get something that's fast so somebody can't just grab a hold of it. My buddy out here's got some that, they got turbos and stuff, man, they will fly. Okay, and that's what I'd want. I'd want something, man, where you didn't have to worry about somebody trying to stop it. Okay, I would look into something to that nature. Okay, outside the city, I would hunt if it's just like a mountain, if it's a national park, something where not a lot of people, gets out and messes around. And I'd have it marked some way on the road where I hit a stash. And, if you can't do like a 5-gallon bucket, you can always do a tote or, go get you some massive PVC pipe and put ends on it. Okay, you can bury 3 or 4 of them in the same place. Just make sure that it's not summers nobody will be digging. And I always lay brush and stuff over them. If you got a friend, if you can make a friend outside the city, or somebody, maybe work for somebody that lives outside the city, I'd ask them, is there any way that I could put a truck or a car, at your house? I'll put it out of the way, and offer to pay them if you have to, give them so much a month to let it sit there. And I would have, if it was me, I would have a truck with a camper and a small trailer. And that way, whatever you drove out of the city, you can just jump it on that trailer and get in your truck. Okay. And the reason I say that is I would have a way to, that way you'd have a little shelter. The truck camper and stuff would give you shelter, and you could then know from, go from point A to point B. This is how I get out of the city. From point B to point C, this is how I get out of the danger zone. Okay. I would have, now on my to-go bag, the first one, go point one, I would have water, let's say you put a couple bottles of water in there. I would go, you buy jerky, it's in this great big bag, but it's just a little pound of jerky. I'd probably buy 4, 5, 6 pounds of jerky, put it in there. Okay, I would buy trail mix, different flavors of trail mix that, it comes in like a 2-pound bag. Okay, I'd have stuff like that, maybe some nutrition bars. I wouldn't worry about trying to, at the house, stock up a bunch of cans and stuff. Okay, because, dry goods and stuff like that, you ain't gonna be able to load all that up and get out in time. We're talking about get from your house to a safe location. Okay, when you get to your truck, if you trust your friend, you could put stuff in there and, if they won't bother it, it would be perfectly fine, but I'd make sure it was in a hard pipe or, a 5-gallon bucket, something that if they did, a mouse get in the truck or whatever, it couldn't get to your stuff. Make sure it couldn't be stolen. I'd make sure that, I'd put a good lock system on it where they couldn't get into the back of it. But, okay, I would put just a bare minimum. If you've got, and don't worry about grandma's picture and all that mess, leave it. It's not worth your life. You're looking at food, water, shelter, and you're looking for some kind of security means. If it's, like if you're on that motorcycle, whatever, I would have her learn to shoot that rifle if she's with you. Hand her the rifle. She can hold on and have that rifle. Okay, you can still have your, primary pistol on your hip. Where if y'all have to fight your way out of a situation, you can. Okay, I would have her fully equipped. She'd probably have a gun too, one of those rifles too. And I'd have mine, where I could have it across my chest in there. She could reach around me, and then hers would be on her. Okay, do what, you don't have to get a map or find the shortest route and then actually walk it or drive it, whatever you want to do, to see, is it actually passable? Can I hook link A to B? Because you may see something, cross, but in reality it's 20 feet up and you can't go from here unless you, shoot up a bank or something. And trust me, if you ain't used to side-by-sides and dirt bikes and stuff, it's dangerous. They can be dangerous. Okay, I would make sure that I could make a trail from A to B. If you don't have a friend that you can, do that with, make a stash. I'd have me a rack on the back. If I didn't have no way, I'd put a rack on the back of that baby where I could throw stuff in it. And I'd have me a stash out in the woods where, you see this point, oh, that's where it is, and it's over here in the woods. But when you do your stash, I would still do it in, stuff that's highly nutritious. I wouldn't worry about green beans and stuff like that. If you want to do like one with seeds and stuff, in case where you get to where you're going, you could grow a garden, that would be advisable. But I wouldn't have like 400 cans of something. I would just simply put, jerky, your high nutritional foods that don't go bad quick. Fill a couple tubes of that. I'd have ammo buried in those tubes. So you'd have more ammo, if you want to get let's say you want to get a 22 rifle, get you one of them little crickets, get you a good scope on it, get you a couple of boxes of 22 shells, and that way you have means to kill a squirrel, rabbit, or something if you have to. I would, if I had a side-by-side, it would definitely have a can or two of gas attached to it. So if you run out of gas, you can stop, fill it up. And I would keep my gas cans with me because if you do get to a gas station, you might be able to get gas. But now I would also make sure that I had a wad of cash. I'd have me, let's say $400 or $500 laid back. That way, even 1,000 if that's what you want. I'd have some gold, silver, and stuff like that laid back to where that's in my get out bag. That way, if it does come down that you get to a gas station, they're saying, we're not taking no money right now. It's got to be what you got to trade on. Well, I got gold. Then you might be able to get gas. And, in the scenario where if you have a pickup or something, that'd give you, I'd have me a gas can or two in there. And I would go start that truck every now and again, drive down the road, stuff, put it back, and, have him, move it if he wants to. Buddy, when you need to mow, do that. But I would have it to where I could get to that vehicle. And then that would be my hit the road and put 300 miles and map away from cities, people. Don't say, well, if I go through Chicago. No, trust me. If you're going from New York to, let's say you're going down south, get away from all this, or, wherever, avoid all the big cities because they're going to be hit too. I mean, that's just honest truth. And they're going to be jammed up. There ain't going to be no shortcuts. Take the long way home. You know what I'm saying? Get gone. If you can afford it, I would go, a couple 100 miles away from your city and look in the mountains. See if you can buy an acre, 2 acres, 3 acres of land. If you can spend $6,000 or $8,000 and buy you, 3 or 4 acres, go put you a little building on it. Go clean it up and put you just one of them little old sheds on it. You can insulate it. You can make them look nice. But remember, at this time, we're not thinking about our, oh, it's not nice enough. We're looking for shelter. Okay. And on that property, I would have, that's where my main stay should be. I see it all the time on these things where, even the prepper shows, we've got 8,000 cans of this and we've got 6 years worth of food here at the house. And, here's our bug out location 300 miles away. Well, that's the craziest stuff I ever seen. That'd be at the bug out location, and I'd have just enough to get from here to that bug out location. And they would be food that we're eating, but that other stuff would have been gone. I would not have left it at the house because you can't move all that stuff at once. And I don't care if they got a big enclosed trailer and stuff. That takes hours to pack up, and that's hours that you get killed in. Okay, if it's a civil unrest situation, I would have, I would have, let's say, soups and stuff like that where you can put them under your bed. Dude, let's say, it ain't going to last more than 3 or 4 months. If it does, you need to be gone anyway. I'd have soups and stuff like that that's quick, easy fixed, or that you don't have to cook, that you just, if you can just get it hot, you can eat it. I would do a propane or a butane stove in case, they cut the power and stuff like that. And I would have jugs of water put up because you won't be able to have 55 gallons. But remember, under your bed. Now, if you take the cushions off your couch and you look, there's a void about that much between where you sit and the floor or where your couch ends, that bottom part of your couch. If you're handy enough or you got a buddy that is, I'd have them put me a piece of plywood underneath that, a pretty thick piece of plywood. Not where it's visible. Just put it up underneath there. And you can always store food and stuff down in them couches and chairs where somebody come in, they may not look there. They're going to look in your cabinets and refrigerator in a normal place like that. If you put it in a closet, covered up with junk, put a bunch of clothes and stuff over it. Don't tell your friends. Okay, look, if you're in a building, I would go to my floor and I'd meet my neighbors, say, hey, how are you? And kindly, work into a conversation about, what do y'all think about if, we all team up, be a group if the crap hits the fan. We all take care of each other. We make sure that, we get out or, we hang together. We don't let them take over our building. It depends if it's a hurricane, tornado, and stuff like that. A to-go bag, and I'd have food stored, especially if you're up off the ground and your building's not destroyed. That'd be your best bet. It all depends on what kind of crap just hit the fan. If it's, like in England where these immigrants are walking around, taking over cities and stuff, demanding what they demand. Okay, I don't know what your gun laws is. Check them, but they're going to have guns, people. And if you don't, you're just sitting ducks. You're a casualty. Okay, I would not be a casualty, and I would have it to where I could at least defend myself and my family. And I would have it a way, if I was up off the ground, let's say 4 or 5 stories, and I was afraid it was going to come in, I'd have a way to fix that door where there ain't no way they come through it. And, you can store enough food and stuff to do a while. But you need to gray man it. You need to prepare your wife and children, if it's, just your wife, and tell her, say, look, here's what we're going to do. And figure a path from this building to gone. And, you may have to walk it at night. So you don't want a lot of, you want to know that road pretty good. Or do as a minimum of light. And, look inconspicuous as you can. That's why I'm saying don't go out with this big military backpack and camo and you look like G.I. Joe. That's going to get you killed. They're going to know he's got gear. We need his gear. I would just do the bare basics food. Let's say you take jerky and you take a pot. Please take a pot. Take you some live straws. Get you some 4 or 5 of them, or one of them Sawyer filters and stuff, so you got a way to get water. If you have to get in a mud hole or whatever, you can drink water. Okay, but you got to have food. I do jerky and the granolas, the stuff like that. That's high energy, and trail mix and stuff like that. But I would just keep my bag as thin as possible. You take that jerky when you get to wherever you're going. You can chop it up and make a broth. And you get, all the goodness of the broth and all that way. And, then you can, I would get a book that says, foraging plants around me. If you're in New York, Chicago, or where. Okay, there'll always be plants that you can pick and throw in there to help kind of build that soup up, if that's what you got to do. The best scenario is if it's, if it's nuclear, I just don't know. I mean, unless you got a warning system that's going to tell you, you have 3 hours, X amount of minutes. Okay, then you're going to have something small, because trust me, everybody's going to grab their vehicles and jam up the interstates, expressways, 2 lanes, 4 lanes, everything's going to be jammed. You need something that you can crossroad with, you know what I'm saying? Get out there and hit the alleys and stuff with, and, make your way out. But I would have a map, and I would know it. I mean, know it, to be able to get out. I would not have a whole pile of stuff to go from home to where point B is. Okay, if you can't find a location where you can stash stuff, just go on the interstate, park, or not the interstate, wherever. Let's say you get out of town is a 2-lane road. Go out through there. There ain't no houses, quarter mile that way, and no house quarter mile that way. I'd go up there on a hill. I wouldn't know whose property was, nothing. I'd just go up there on that hill summers, and I'd bury me a stash. Nobody ever know where it's at. I'd have a way of knowing it. And then if the crap hit the fan, you could just go get your stuff. It would be hard in the city. I mean, it really would. I'm just giving you my honest thoughts on it. If you have to walk out, I would start exercising a lot. I mean, I'm a big old fat boy. I couldn't walk out of the middle of New York to get to where you was, yonder and gone. I'd get to where I could jog and stuff like that, and practice avoiding. Take some self-defense classes. And I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about somebody can show you how to use a knife properly. If somebody grabs you, you can pull that knife and know how to use it. Take gun classes. So when you pull that gun, it's second nature of how to use it. You can't be going because you're afraid to shoot your gun. You're a casualty. Okay, you're going to have to get tough and get tough quick. And, go to a gun range, get used to shooting that gun. Have a friend meet you somewhere where everybody ain't seeing you, and have them like grab you. And don't use the gun, get a little toy gun, a little plastic gun, and get used to how do I move this around where I can work on him. Can I shoot him in the leg? If they grab you like this, you get your gun, shoot him in the leg. Figure out what you have to do to defend yourself. But, there's millions of people in them cities. And everybody's going to be panicked and everybody's going to be out for themselves. Okay, if you can get a group of 5 or 6 and everybody moving unisons together, I would have it to where you practice it. Don't be suspicious about it. But like 5 or 6 of you walk down the streets and everybody, Joe's watching this way, Dave's watching this way, Murray Beth's watching this way, and somebody's watching behind us and stuff like that. And know that every point somebody could be, watching. But, I don't live in the city. I'm just trying my best to think of how I would do if I was in the city. And honestly, that'd probably be the way I'd try to do is, either try to sneak out, join a group that's going out, or if I could have a 4-wheeler, a side-by-side motorcycle, something that's maneuverable that don't require a road, I would have that. And then I would make my points A, B, C, D. Okay, everybody's like, well, you can't ride a 4-wheeler on the road. Okay, let me tell you something. If it's something like nuclear or, something real bad like that, trust me, the law ain't going to be looking for you. Hey, pull over. I got to give you a ticket. They ain't going to do it. Okay? Do what you got to do. But I hope it gives you some food for thought. I would do jerkies, anything that don't go bad that you can put in a backpack and go. Remember trail mixes, the nutrition bars and stuff like that. Put you some live straws in there. I would have me a couple knives in there. And, I don't think I would try to do a big sword, but I would have me a pretty good, like a hunting knife, full tang, get a good brand, something that you can get sharp. Because if you jump out and you got a Pakistani knife or something and it's half dull and you're trying to fight, you're going to be in trouble. And, go full tang. And that way, if you do have to use it when you get summers, you can chop wood with it and stuff like that. Have a way to sharpen it. I'd hunt me a little old sharpener of some nature and throw it in there. But look into, if you want to do 22s, look into small automatic 22s like an AR. You may want to get you an AR. Okay. But I would try to go with something where I got ammo for my 9 or whatever kind of caliber you decide to carry, plus my close defense. I mean, that'd be the way to go. And go to a gun range. If there's one out in the, out of the city where you can actually get out and practice throwing that gun up and tat, 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 do that. That way, if something does happen, you can jerk it up, pow, 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 and it comes like second nature to you. But I hope this helps. Maybe somebody in the city, has thought these scenarios out. And, to me, self-defense classes, I'd take gun classes. I'd go buy me a good gun or 2. I'd buy me a rifle part so you can distance it. Then I'd have me one for up close. And then, I'd have me a good knife on my hip. And then I'd have my backpack full of supplies. Get a tarp, rope, filters so you can drink water. I'd have food and stuff like that. And that way, if you did have to like hide for a night, let's say, you're on the road, you ain't got to where you need to go, and you need to hide for a night, you could run that whatever out into the woods a little ways where people wouldn't see it, then you can make you a shelter. And, maybe stay the night, then go again. But I'd have me some gold, silver, and stuff like that to where you have bartering things. I'm trying here. This is just my honest thoughts. But if if somebody out there is from the city and a better way, maybe there's something I'm overlooking, hey, put it in the comments, help them out, the people that want to know. We all grow together, and I love to see it that everybody be safe, or as many people as we can, keep them safe. But, you know, you just have to go by what kind of scenario it is, what kind of warning system you have and stuff like that. And, you know, what's your means, you know, to be able to get stuff to get to where you're going. But I appreciate everybody coming to the video. Y'all have a good day. Have a great, you know, have a good day. Have a blessed day. Be good to each other. Like and subscribe to the video if you don't care. If you got comments, please post them. I try to answer every comment, and you know, if you answer a question, I try to answer it. If you make a comment, I always try to like it, let you know I did see it. I do recognize it. And you know, everybody check the comments and stuff, because there may be something on there that I don't know that somebody else does. Well, I'm gonna let you go, and I'll see you on the next video.